right, so we're going to be doing an Excel project, a project in Microsoft Excel, using Microsoft Excel. We're going to be basically touching on all of the functionalities within Excel. It's going to be a lot, so just strap in. Now, before you do this project, you need to have a foundational knowledge of Microsoft Excel. Now, you'll be using this copy orders data. I'll attach the data sets in the Google Drive link as well. But what this project entails is that we have this coffee business who wants us to analyze their orders, wants us to gain insights from the data, probably find out their most valuable customers, find out which customers they need to retain, find out how to grow more sales, find out what regions are making most money, what products are selling the most, and all of that. So as a data analyst, that's what we do. We find problems and find solutions to those problems. Now, for this business, we have their data in 3 Excel worksheets. They have the orders worksheets, customers worksheets, and the product worksheets. Now, from the orders worksheet, this is where we're going to be getting our main information from. So we need to populate all of these values here. We need to populate all of these values. So customer name, email, country, coffee type, roast type, size, unit price, and sales. They are all found inside of the customers and or the product table. So I'll be showing us how to fetch that in. There are 3 options to get all of these values. The first is VLOOKUP. The second is the index match, and the third is the XLOOKUP. Now, depending on the Excel year or the version of Excel you're using, you might not have XLOOKUP. So preferably index match or VLOOKUP. But I'll just use VLOOKUP for everything because I don't want this video to be too long. So I'll divide this into 2 parts. The first part would be handling the data, formatting the data, cleaning the data, deleting duplicates or finding duplicates and fixing duplicates, and all of that. Then the second part would be focus on the visualization part of things. All right, so let's dive in now. The first part is the data itself. We have our tables and we want to get the customer name. So I explained earlier that there are 3 ways. So the first way will be to use the VLOOKUP function. So we'll say equal VLOOKUP. The parameters under the VLOOKUP function are lookup value, table array, colon index number, and range lookup. So lookup value basically means what is the value you want me to find. We want to find the customer name. And since the customer has a unique identity, we find that identity first. So we tag that cell reference. The next thing is the table array. So we're going to look into the customers table and select everything in the customers table by pressing on the first cell, Control Shift down, Control Shift right. We use function F4 to lock that in to make sure that it doesn't move. Then the next thing is the colon index number. So the colon index number for the customer name colon is colon index number 2, right? And the last thing is the type of match. So we want an exact match. The exact match and the approximate match basically means that I want that exact value, or I want to get a value that resembles or that looks like the value, but I want an exact value because a customer ID is unique to that person. It's not just distinct, it is unique as well. So I click enter and I have the name attached to this customer ID. So I have the customer name. Now in Excel, to duplicate this formula downwards and populate the cells, all I have to do is just make sure that my cursor turns to a dark cross here, and I double tap and I have all of the customer names. So I'll just go on to do the same thing for the email, country, and all of that. Equal. There's also other ways to do this. I'll use XLOOKUP here. So XLOOKUP, the lookup value is still the customer ID. The lookup array is the customer ID array. Right. This is our lookup array, function F4 to log that in. Then the return array would be the email address array, which is a C colon. So Control Shift down. And just read down, down, because there are white spaces in between all of it. That's why it's cutting. It's normally take the whole colon at once, but nevertheless, we'll keep on going. So this should be 1001. Function F4 as well to lock that in. Function F4, right? And the last thing would be if not found empty, exact match. And that is that. So we have the email address here. Just the same way we want to populate, we'll do the same thing. And the same thing for the country this time. Now we have our country also in the customers table. So we say equal index. This is the third route. We use VLOOKUP. Let's look up an index match now. Index. The array now. You see the parameters are 3. So array, row number, and column number. For the array, we have the return array. So we want to return the return array. So the return array, we want to get the country and correct. That's everything here. Right. Function F4, comma. Then we say match. We're going to match this to our lookup value. So the lookup value is going to be the customer ID, comma. The lookup array would be the customer ID column in the customers table. Right. Customer ID column, customers table function F4 as well. So log that in and the exact match as well. So we hit enter. It's telling me that there are corrections. The reason why it's telling me that is because I didn't close this parenthesis. So if you don't do that, you'll get that error. But in the case where you don't get that error, just do it manually. So populate this downward as well. So I'll just go ahead and populate the coffee type, roast type, size, and unit price from the products table. They are all found in the product table, coffee type, roast type, size, and unit price. Then when it gets to calculating the sales, we're going to do that together. So we're just supposed to be do. I don't want it to get too long. And once I'm done with that, we'll calculate the sales together. All right. All right. So right now I am done populating everything from coffee type to roast type to size and to unit price. Now to get the sales would be a multiplication of the quantity and the unit price. So if I buy an item for $9.95 and I bought two of this item, it will be multiplication of 2 times the unit price. Unit price is the price per each. So to calculate the sales now, I would say equal products. There are two ways to go about this as well. To call products number 1, comma, number 2, that's my unit price. And I hit enter, which is one way, or I prefer this way using a function because I just prefer it. Now I am done with this, but there's some corrections I need to make here. Now it's not stated in the file on the data set we're using, but we need to make sure that this as well, this email address, I don't want to see zeros here. So these parts that have zeros, I want them to be empty, not zero. I don't want any values there. So if the person does not have any email address, I want to return zero. I want to get zero. So how do I do that? First steps first, I'll use an if statement. So I'm going to copy the result of this. I'm going to copy the function here, control X, right? Now I'll say equal if the logical test would be if that function is equal to 0, comma, I want an empty cell, which is going to be denoted with 2 double quotes with nothing inside or no space, nothing. Then else, that's the value if false now would be the same value. So in case it is not empty, I would like to return that as well. All right, so I hit enter. All right, now I just apply the formula downward as well. All right, so we see that all of the ones that had zeros before are all gone now. Now I'm going to do something similar here. I'm going to use an if statement. Now the M in the rows type signifies medium. Medium. The L signifies light, and the D signifies dark. So they are chocolate types. And the EXA signifies excelso. DRA signifies Arabica. LIB signifies Librica. And Robsigpa